several Michael Brown witnesses lied. On the stand, several said they'd lied when interviewed by investigators. I'll put a link to this Bloomberg News article in the video description. But look at the headline they use. Cops fear. Wavering witnesses spurred Ferguson Grand Jury decision. That headline really downplays the explosive revelation buried within the article. That's how they undersell a story that mentions that several witnesses said that they lied in their statements to investigators investigating the Michael Brown shooting. Don't you think my headline captures the key point of the article better? Several witnesses admitted they lied about the Michael Brown shooting, rather than cops fear. Wavering witnesses spurred grand jury decision. Boy, the headline writer really wanted to downplay the most explosive part of this article. You can read this article for yourself, where it says how grand jurors and investigators challenged witnesses, asking skeptical questions of those who said that the shooting was unjustified. On the stand, several said they'd lied when interviewed by investigators. And look at this headline. Ferguson Grand Jury papers full of inconsistencies. The papers or the witnesses who lied? You see how this headline also underplays the most important point, which was that several witnesses lied against Officer Wilson. Why isn't that the headline, considering what the content of the article is? Think about that. Those are the headlines that Bloomberg News and Associated Press use for articles that contain information that several witnesses themselves admitted that they lied. These news outlets have some hell of a nerve. These are the headlines for articles about the fact that several witnesses lied about their testimony against Officer Wilson? Come on. And these two are an example of a pattern throughout the media. I did not see the media run with the story about how witnesses admitted they lied. So it's no surprise that so much of the public is left confused or misinformed about this case. You can see why. There's clearly a reluctance to report accurately about it and to convey the most important things that undermine the pro-Michael Brown narrative. As I pointed out in my previous video, the media really was reluctant to report that there were 7 to 8 African American witnesses who gave testimony consistent with Officer Wilson's account. Here's one of those witnesses. And by the way, I think this witness is the one that I featured in this video, which the media was very reluctant to report on. I didn't see really much media reporting that this guy had been saying that Brown kept moving towards the officer. And then this is from his testimony to the grand jury. And he started charging towards the police officer. He stopped running, and when he stopped running, the police officer stopped firing. And then Mr. Brown started again to charge towards him. And then here's a part where he explains, I'm hearing everybody their side of the story, saying, oh, the police officer shot that kid for no reason. He had his hands up. And me knowing and seeing what actually took place, that wasn't true. And as I've pointed out, that's not the only witness. There were several witnesses that gave testimony consistent with not only Officer Wilson, but with the physical evidence. You can see my blog where I cite from the grand jury testimony where they talk about the location of bloodstains on the street. And those bloodstains were beyond the point of Michael Brown's body, proving that he advanced from his farthest most distance where he ran to and came back towards the officer, thus debunking those witnesses that claim that Brown never moved towards the officer, or like Piaget claimed, maybe only 1 centimeter. Another thing I don't see the media making clear at all is that the physical evidence disproved witnesses who claimed that Michael Brown never advanced towards Officer Wilson. The bloodstains on the road definitively proved that Brown advanced from his farthest position and came towards the officer. That's exactly what this witness said. Probably the first recorded witness of the Michael Brown shooting. The major media was reluctant to make the public aware of what this guy was saying in this video. Well, it turns out this guy, I think, was witness number 10 at the grand jury. So we didn't mishear what he said in this video. He was clear. And as I've been trying to explain, he's not the only witness that said this. 7 to 8 African Americans provided testimony that was consistent with Officer Wilson's account and, most importantly, consistent with the physical evidence. The media did an extremely poor job reporting on the Michael Brown shooting case. This is an extreme case of media malpractice. That's why we need the formal establishment of a representative press, and that's why I want to use this platform to advocate for it. Please subscribe to the Representative Press channel, and also subscribe to the Representative Press blog, because that's where I put additional information, for example, excerpts of testimonies that were consistent with the physical evidence. Post a comment to this video if you want to join the Representative Press Corps. Activists that want to help get this information out in front of millions of people. We're being dominated not only by mainstream media, but by a lot of the alternative press, which is simply not doing a good job. So share this video with everyone you can using the YouTube tools below. And you can click here to go to my blog for more actions you can take to help the mission. The mission to point out that the American media is doing a grave disservice to the American people, and to call for the formal establishment of a representative press.